Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Clear here with a video for you. Not strictly a knife video, but kind of. This is my Leatherman Skeletool. Very nice multi-tool. It does have a blade on it. Not a big one, only 2.5 inches. But I would say if you're used to seeing a knife, this is actually a feasible multi-tool to carry. Its size and weight makes it at least possible. Maybe it's still not your thing, but I wanted to pick this up and I wanted to share it with you because maybe you watch this primarily because you're a knife guy. I would say this is a multi-tool that knife guys can kind of get into. Further, I would say this is a multi-tool that people who maybe are not into carrying a lot of stuff, that aren't gear guys, can get into. Because it's small, it's light, the knife opens one-handed, it doesn't have a huge amount of tools, it's very easy to operate. Just kind of a scaled back version of a multi-tool, and I've really enjoyed carrying this, and I really like having it. I carry it often when as sort of a primary blade when I'm carrying something larger, maybe the Recon 1 or the Spyderco Zabo or whatever, something along those lines. And I found this makes a very nice pairing with a larger knife. So size and weight on this to give you some ideas and why I prefer this over a lot of other multi-tools. Let's bring in a few different things. So this is I'm going to zoom in a little bit. What I've got here is the Swiss Champ. And let me move just a little bit over. So I've got the Swiss Army knife here, Swiss Champ. This is much heavier, a good ounce heavier. By the way, this only weighs like 5.1 ounces. This is, you know, a fair bit heavier, not nearly as easy to carry, but the size is somewhat similar. I'll open the blade on this and the blade on this, and you can kind of see that the blade is obviously considerably shorter on this, but the length is not that different, probably about ½ an inch difference between these two. And so you're getting quite a lot of capability in a fairly small package compared to a more standard multi-tool. Here's the Gerber, whatever it is, it's the one that pops out the front. Doesn't really matter, it's just meant to serve as a standard multi-tool size. There they are side by side. You can see that the style is quite a bit smaller, and especially in this dimension, not going to take up nearly as much space in your pocket. Also though, it's much lighter. Now, when you open them as pliers, it's probably good to notice that you're not getting, if you see these two side by side, these pliers are more standard size for a full-size multi-tool. So you can see these pliers are kind of one step down from what most of us would consider a full-size multi-tool. Okay? So I think that gives you a good handle on size. Here's one more comparison. This is to probably my single most consistently carried EDC item. This is the Leatherman Style, and you can see, by the way, that these have a very matching sort of design philosophy, and I actually really like both of these a whole lot. Now, the way I've been carrying this, by the way, the weight, as I pointed out, was 5 ounces. However, to be fair, I need to add just a little bit because I have been carrying one of these Leatherman Bit Kits along with this. So I carry these two together. This bit kit, you can drop it in any pocket. I usually keep it in a back pocket. It sits this way, and you literally do not know it's there. Now, the only downside to that is it's very easy to throw your pants in the laundry and forget, so you have to really be aware. But you can carry this along with this very easily. This is not even 1 ounce, so it doesn't make a whole big difference, but it makes this into a much handier thing. Now, let's get into the tools, because that's what we kind of want to know about when it comes to a multi-tool. There are not a lot of functions. There's pliers here that have, you know, the 2 different settings, and the wire cutters. Then there's the carabiner that also serves as a bottle opener. Got your knife, and this knife in the CX version, which is one of the reasons I wanted the CX version, the knife blade is 154 cm blade steel. By the way, these are not expensive anymore. The price has come down considerably, and if you shop around, you can probably find these between $50 and $60 US. The last tool that is really, really cool is the screwdriver. Now the cool thing about this and why I carry the bit kit with it is because the bits are exchangeable. So I keep the slot in there the most because I use it as a prying tool and it's what you end up using more often. There is a little spot, I'm going to have to zoom in to show you this. There's a little slot right here in the handle. See where my finger is? If you put your thumb nail here and push, you should be able to see the little bit coming out here now. And that little bit just comes out. And you can, I'm not going to take it all the way out because I don't need it, but the bit comes out and you can exchange it with this one, put that one in there and go ahead and do whatever you've got to do. In addition to those, as I said, I've been carrying the bit kit. Now the way I handled the bit kit was to go ahead and it comes with two full of things of these. So what I did was take the bits that I used the most often, that were most useful to me, and put them all in one, and then carried it with this. And the other one is in my backpack or someplace reasonably close by. Okay, so that gives you the tools, and I really want to point out the bit kit adds a whole lot of functionality. I really like carrying it that way. Would I recommend carrying it without the bit kit? Sure, because you're still getting 4 driver bits, and that's pretty handy. But I do think the bit kit adds a whole new dimension to it. It makes it very versatile instead of just pretty versatile. Okay, everything on here has worked very well for me. I have done a bunch of, obviously when it's in your pocket, it's going to be the thing you go to, and so I've been carrying it in my pocket all the time, just so that I do get lots of opportunity to use it and test it, and it has functioned very well. Now some people have complained about the thinness here, and it's not a very thick piece of metal. I suppose if you really tried to bear down on something, theoretically you could break it. I imagine this will be fairly hard steel, so it'd be a little bit brittle. And that complaint has been made, but here's the bright side of that whole situation. One of the good things about Leatherman is if something does go wrong, they're going to fix it for you. So you can buy this and for the next 25 years, anything happens to it and you're going to get a new one, which is extreme, obviously, unless you lose it or put it in a garbage disposal or something and do something really dumb with it. But under normal use, if something goes wrong, they're going to fix it for you. And Leatherman is very good about their warranty. So Leatherman Skeletool, a really great EDCable multi-tool, especially if you've thought before, if you have a couple multi-tools and have decided they're too heavy for me to carry, they're too unruly, or maybe you're a knife guy and you say, hey, I really like to carry a blade, I wouldn't mind something in addition, but it's got to be fairly small and light. I think this is a pretty good option. Now, it is 5 ounces, but for what you're getting, that 5 ounces I think is a very fair trade-off. Okay, so there you go. That is my take on a multi-tool that I have enjoyed very much, that I really like. I find it extremely useful, extremely functional, and extremely cool. And again, I've been pairing it with the bit kit, and I find that makes it awesome as far as I'm concerned. Now maybe you'll feel differently, maybe this is just too much for you, whatever. Or maybe this is not enough tool for you. There are lots of other Leatherman and Gerber options out there that you may want to pick up. This is definitely, though, the one for me that's the most practical and carryable. Talk to you later. I hope you have a great day.